Wellbeing of Women looks after a woman throughout her lifetime. It's a lifetime care.
I support Wellbeing of Women because, how could I not? I'm a woman. I know lots of women. I want them to be healthy.
Good health is crucial when it comes to women fulfilling their full potential, and Wellbeing of Women is the only charity that works with women's health across the whole spectrum.
Over the 20 years or so that I've been involved with Wellbeing of Women, its purpose has broadened.
The wonderful thing about Wellbeing is that it's a broad issue charity. It is all about the whole woman.
Wellbeing of Women is the only research charity to specifically fund research into women's health. And every year on the Research Advisory Committee, we have many applications that we're unable to fund because of lack of monies. The conduct of research, particularly clinical research, is not cheap, but the benefits for women's health can be enormous.
The importance of Wellbeing of Women became more apparent when my sister had to go through IVF. IVF is obviously a very long journey and quite an intrusive journey, and everyone experiences it in different ways and it affects them emotionally in different ways. My experience was obviously very heartbreaking, and when she found out she was pregnant and then found out she was pregnant with twins, it felt like I was pregnant. It was an amazing feeling.
I've often spoken at events about my own personal health experiences, as in talking about endometriosis that I suffer from, and I had postnatal depression. And the reason I do it for Wellbeing for Women is that it's obviously two areas that they cover, and I think it's really important that they have people that are willing to be a voice on these things, because they're subjects that often women don't like to talk about, don't like to voice, but they want to hear somebody else share their experiences. And that's what's really important, is that they really shine a light on all of these things that so many women have at all different ages, at all different times in their life, that really need focusing on.
You hear on the radio all the time of these poor celebrities that lose babies, or they have miscarriages, stillbirths, and there's always some morose commentator saying, why does no one ever do anything about this? And I always find myself in the kitchen screaming at the radio that someone is doing something about it. Wellbeing is trying to find solutions to these things.
I've had a couple of serious health issues along the way. I've been brilliantly helped by health professionals, and I was delighted to find somewhere where I could repay with gratitude.
You know, young women today certainly don't share the same inhibitions as their grandmothers did, but there's certainly some taboo issues that still exist. For example, gynecological issues. So, for example, I would be very happy in the workplace to tell my boss or my colleagues if I had really bad back pain. I probably wouldn't feel so confident telling them about my chronic period pain.
There are areas that we don't talk about very often that are important to women, particularly those who are in the workplace. So issues around menopause, issues around period pains and so on. And after all, the health of women is important to all of us. It's important to their partners, it's important to their children, it's important to the businesses they work for.
I first started supporting Wellbeing of Women 4 years ago, and there was this charity that was doing exactly the sort of research that would have helped my mother all those years ago. She died of cervical cancer 26 years ago and had very little knowledge of the disease.
I became vice chairman of Wellbeing of Women nearly 10 years ago. My mother died of ovarian cancer. She died a few days after her 55th birthday, and she died within 3 months of having been diagnosed. And that's why ovarian cancer is known as the silent killer, because by the time they tell you you've got it, in most cases it's too late.
I first started supporting Wellbeing of Women when my mother died in 1988 of ovarian cancer. We had no idea she was ill at Christmas, and she died on Valentine's Day. I was only 26, and I had no idea what ovarian cancer was. I'd never heard of it.
My life at Wellbeing of Women is not a job. It is something that you have to live. I could be sitting at lunch in the middle of a busy, crowded room, and the young woman next to me will suddenly look at me with tears in her eyes and say, I had my 6th miscarriage yesterday, and you're the first person that I've told about it. I want to cry. I want to cry for her and for the hundreds of thousands of other women who are experiencing that every day.
My best friend from university, very smart woman, and apart from wanting to become the world's greatest engineer, she's always wanted children. It's all she's ever wanted. As soon as she got married, started trying, and she had miscarriage after miscarriage. On about her 7th miscarriage, when she broke down in the surgery, the doctor actually said to her, you know, I thought you would have been used to this by now. I mean, it just rips your guts out.
If we had more money, we could transform the medical research agenda.
We frequently find that we're unable to fund really excellent applications because there's limited funding available.
Every single penny helps to fund the medical research that will actually solve women's health problems. If you come and help us, I can guarantee that you will enjoy being part of the biggest and most diverse family that you will have ever met in your life.
Wellbeing of Women.
Wellbeing of Women.
Wellbeing of Women.